Merry Christmas or New Year's Eve. What is today's? What is it? Christmas Eve. I, that should tell you how in tune I am with holidays. Merry Christmas Eve and welcome to Nerdy Movie News Roundup, the show where we round up all of the news of the past week of our nerdy movies. That's the opening. This is a live show, so it's too late to start over. So we're just gonna roll with it. So we got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Further unraveling the nonsense that is the future of the DC universe. So let's just jump right into it. That was crazy. I thought that wasn't gonna pop up just then. Okay. So first up, we have a teaser trailer here that Disney Plus did, where you see glimpses of stuff that is going to be streaming in 2023. So let's just look through it and see what we can find that's interesting. So first up, we get a shot of The Mandalorian. I don't remember if this shot was in the first teaser trailer that they put out, but here we see Mando with Grogu and his little thing here. That's adorable, I guess. Here we get a shot of Sylvie listening to music in like a vinyl record store, it looks like. So I don't know what that's all about. That's just Wakanda Forever. We'll talk about the non geek stuff, because who cares about a charming original Pixar animated series? No, let's just continue to talk about these franchises that Disney keeps on running into the ground. Yeah, here's a picture of Ahsoka. It's Ahsoka. You get hyped, I guess. And here's Secret Invasion. I think this is a shot from the trailer, but there's Martin Freeman. He looks like he's going to be in Secret Invasion. We finally get to see a bit of Emilia Clarke in here. I don't think we saw her in the trailer, so she has a bit of dialogue here. Here we see a scroll. It kind of looks like, I don't know, it kind of like people are kind of scared of him. So I don't know if maybe the scroll got found out and he's kind of raging out, but yep, that's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic ends up being with the scrolls in Secret Invasion. Then there's Nick Fury. Who cares about Peter Pan and Wendy? This was in the trailer. Grogu or Mando, oh, never mind. I thought I saw something that I didn't see. Then there's him with the other Mandalorians. There's Loki. There's Loki again. And then here's Loki and what's his face? I don't remember his face. I don't remember his name. That's crazy. The TVA man. That's crazy. I do not remember his name. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember his name. Wait. Oh, hold on. No. What is his name? That's crazy. I'm not going to look it up. Whatever. He's there with Loki and multiple Lokis. There are shenanigans happening. Multiverse, whatever. Who cares? Was there anything else? Well. Yeah, here we saw Adonis Creed. He's there. He's doing a cameo in The Mandalorian. I don't know if the show's going to be of any interest. It seems like an original thing. Like Crater. I guess that's going to be a new show. I guess actually American Born Chinese, I think that's a graphic novel that they're adapting. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that's something that will be of interest to this show. Because I don't know if that's like a comic book really, or if I don't know if that show is gonna be for me. So we'll wait and see. Look at the Bad Batch. Why not? Then there was more Samuel L. Jackson and Loki. So yeah, just a quick little glimpses at a bunch of different shows. Nothing really to not knock your pants off, knock your socks off. Just a cute couple little glimpses. All right. Next up, let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. We're getting we talked about some of the castings last week, but now we have actual characters that they're playing, and Matthew Lillard is playing William Afton, the main villain. And then here we have Josh Hutcherson, who we talked about last week as well. He's going to be playing Mike Schmidt. And these actresses, Mary Stuart Masterson and Piper Rubio, not familiar with them. They're going to be playing a villain. The older woman is playing a villain, and then the little girl is playing Abby, which is Mike's younger sister. So I am by no means a Five Nights at Freddy's expert. I do not have a PhD in Five Nights at Freddy's lore, so I'm not going to be able to go in depth on this stupid game, but I have seen the game theory videos, and from what I remember, Michael Afton, he's the purple guy, right? And he's like the guy that goes around and like kills children in the pizzerias and like stuffs them into suits, to the animatronic suits. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's who Michael Afton is. And then I think Mike Schmidt, is he supposed? I think this is his son. I think that kind of goes on a kind of discovers like the actions of his father and tries to like stop him or something like that. So that's hilarious. I'm like Matthew Lillard playing the purple guy is hilarious. Zoink Scoob, we gotta kill those kids and stuff them into suits. So yeah, that's hilarious. I guess I saw some people speculating that Mary Stuart Masterson is gonna play his wife, who I don't know if he kills, but I think she ends up, taking over the Ballora animatronic. Am I right about that? Okay, either way, I think this is pretty fun. I have no idea if this movie is going to be actually good or not, but hopefully it's at least entertaining. And I mean, of course, people are gonna make theories about it and stuff, and that's really what the fan base is there for, right? To theorize and try to deduce the lore and all that. But I don't know. I think this is a pretty fun cast, especially Matthew Lillard especially. So I'm getting pretty excited about this. All right. Next up, let's get into the DC nonsense. So James Gunn puts out this thing here. I'll read through this Twitter thread. One of the things Peter and I were aware of when we took the job as heads of DC Studios was a certain minority of people online that could be, well, uproarious and unkind, to say the least. Our choices for the DCU are based upon what we believe is best for the story and best for the DC characters who have been around for nearly 85 years. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not, but they are made with the sincere hearts and integrity and always with the story in mind. No one loves to be harassed or called names, but to be frank, we've been through significantly worse. Disrespectful outcry will never, ever affect our actions. We were aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us. But this means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians in helping to create a wide and wonderful future for DC. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty good statement. Not lashing out at the fans and all that. Just adamantly, and no mincing words. Just being like, hey, we get it. We knew the backlash was going to come, but we were put in charge to run this studio and get things back on track. And that's what we're aiming to do. I like that he adds there, like, maybe our decisions aren't going to end up being the right ones, but all we can do is do our best, everything in our power, to get DC back on track. And I think it's a pretty respectable decision. Now let's get into some nonsense. So, Black Adam, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, not actually Black Adam. He played Black Adam. He put out a statement as well. So let's read through this. I wanted to give you a long-awaited Black Adam update regarding the character's future in the new DC universe. James Gunn and I connected, and Black Adam will not be in their. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah, I thought I was for a second there. I thought I was muted that entire time. I was about to. I'm not gonna say what I was about to do, but let's keep on going. Okay, James Gunn connected to Black Adam will not be in their first chapter of storytelling. However, DC and $7 have agreed to continue exploring the most valuable ways Black Adam can be utilized in future DC multiverse chapters. James and I have known each other for years and have always rooted for each other to succeed. It's no different now, and I will always root for DC and Marvel to win and win big. You guys know me, and I have very thick skin, and you can always count on me to be direct with my words. These decisions made by James and DC leadership represent their vision of DCU through their creative lens. After 15 years of relentless hard work to finally make Black Adam, I'm very proud of the film we delivered for fans worldwide. I will always look back on the fan reaction to Black Adam with tremendous gratitude, humility, and love. We did great. To my very passionate and vocal Black Adam / superhero genre fans, I love you, thank you, and I will always listen to you and do my best to deliver and entertain you. What a hell of a month. Now we all need some Terramana. Have a productive week and happy holidays to you and your families. So, much like Henry Cavill, Black Adam puts out a very professional response, very reasoned response. Of course, the interesting thing to note here is him basically saying that we might, basically, I take this as him saying, yeah, Black Adam 2 is scrapped. Like, we're not seeing whatever plan The Rock had for his sort of slice of the DC universe pie. We're not getting that. I mean, we basically already knew that when they said that Henry Cavill wasn't coming back as Superman. But interesting that Dwayne puts in there that he may come back at some point in a multiverse capacity. So I guess 10 years from now, once DC gets to Marvel's point where they start doing multiverse shenanigans in whatever James Gunn's DCU is, maybe we'll see The Rock's Black Adam come through a portal at some point. But aside from that, yeah, this is basically him saying, yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to be a part of James Gunn's universe. Which again, I continue to maintain, and we'll get I will get to what we get to later on in the show, but as of right now, I continue to maintain that the decision to reboot is a completely reasonable one. Whether you liked some aspects of the DCEU, whether you liked all of it, whether you hated all of it, one thing I think we can all agree on is that it was a mess, and it was not nearly as successful as they would have wanted it to be. It just was. Whether it be, I'm not gonna necessarily blame Zack Snyder all on his own, because obviously, I mean, his movies didn't really connect with audiences, but then we saw studios really interfering with a bunch of directors' creative visions and just obviously the people that were in charge of the DCEU were just not able to come together to, at the end of the day, they just weren't able to come together and make a package that audiences really resonated with. And, when Black Adam, right, a comic book movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson comes out and only makes $380 million, this universe, that tells you that this universe isn't working, right? Clearly audiences are not resonating with the DC universe as it currently stands. So I think it's reasonable to reboot. However, if you are going to reboot, I want you to reboot. So let's get to Zachary Levi. So basically, someone, tweeted at him saying, I want this not to be true because his Shazam is the one thing in the DCEU I would absolutely throw hands for to protect. At Zachary Levi is perfection. And this is in response to a tweet where the person is saying, I'm so angry that Zachary Levi isn't going to be Shazam anymore. Zachary Levi decides to tweet back at this person saying, oh, I really wouldn't go believing everything you see on the internet. I'm Gucci, Ash. We all Gucci. So at this point, I'm kind of going in my head, I'm sorry, sir, what? I was under the impression, and I've been talking about this throughout the lens of this being a reboot. And I I don't really want like in my opinion, if you're going to reboot it, you got to recast, get new creatives in there, like really reboot. And and here's the thing. We're really never going to hear the end of it. If you decide to dispose of Henry Cavill as Superman, but stick with Zachary Levi as Shazam. Nothing against Zachary Levi, but obviously people are going to flip out if you keep some things from the old DC universe, but just throw out Henry Cavill. Now, I don't think that's a reasonable thing to do. I mean, obviously I'd like for them to completely reboot, but I mean, I wouldn't really care if they kept Zachary Levi, but I saw this and I was like, oh no, I don't want to deal with the internet if this ends up being the case. So, basically then Zachary Levi made like a video that he put on his Instagram. Now this is like 14 minutes long. I'm not going to watch the whole thing here with you. But this Variety article does have a few quotes that we can look through. So basically he says, you have no idea the reasonings behind any of the decisions that are going on. The amount of conjecture and rumor mill and drama and nonsense that keeps getting spun around out there on Instagram and Twitter is laughable. It is unbelievably laughable. So I would just say be patient and give them some space and some time to try and really make something special. And I think something that DC deserves to have and something that Snyder tried to do and just didn't ultimately materialize, guys. So my whole thing is, okay, you can get mad at people for like theorizing and, coming to conclusions and all that. And that's fair for you to criticize. But you know what's feeding a lot of that? It's you guys coming out and making incredibly vague statements. Like, at this point, I'd kind of just rather Gunn and, and everybody involved with all of this to just get off of social media, right? Do your plan, materialize your plan, and then when you're ready to reveal it to us, because right now you can say that, oh, there's so much conjecture, blah, 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 but it's like, we don't know what's happening. And you keep on coming out, and like even when we think we have some kind of understanding, you come out and make some vague statement that kind of puts everything into question. So you guys are feeding all of this conjecture. So anyways, moving on. He says, if you're out there and really like what happened before, you can do that, that's fine, but realize that there's a lot of people who didn't like those things. And we should always be trying to tap into as much audience as possible, make as many people happy as possible. That's what we're in entertainment for, and that's what I think Peter and James are trying to do, and it's not an easy position. They got handed all these things that were already in a lot of conflict. So guys, just give them a break. Take it easy, take a breath. It's the holidays, for God's sake. Just enjoy what the holidays are. Give them some time to enjoy the holidays, and let's see what happens on the other side of this. So, he is absolutely right about that. And I said this before, but the old DC universe, which wasn't working. I mean, he says it here. He says, if you're out there and really like what happened before, you can do that, that's fine. But realize that there's a lot of people who didn't like those things. And that's just true. I mean, you can just look at the box office, right? Man of Steel, I think, made like $600-something million. Batman v Superman made something like $800 million. Justice League, obviously, did it even crack $600 million? I don't remember. But, like, the old era of the DC universe is just not something that people connected with. And, I just... Yeah, I mean, he is right about that. And then next up, this is the important thing. He says, listen, I have no idea what ultimately is going to happen to me. I think I'm in a pretty good position. I think we made a great movie. I think it's going to do well. Reasonably well. I hope so. But again, regardless of that, if they decide at some point that this is the way we got to go, them's the breaks. That's how it goes. So honestly, I don't know how to take this. I mean, because obviously James Gunn is not going to come out and say that Zachary Levi is no longer Shazam, because they need to they don't want to uh they don't want to damage that movie that's coming, right? With Shazam 2 coming, them coming out and saying, "Oh, there's really no reason for you to care about this movie because Zachary Levi is no longer going to be Shazam. So who cares, right?" They can't do that. I suspect, I don't know this, I suspect it. I suspect that they are going to end up, I suspect that this is going to be the end of the road for Zachary Levi Shazam. But I just think they're not coming out and saying it because the movie's not out yet. That's what I suspect. And maybe that's just still me having hopes that we are going to get that reboot, full on reboot that I want to see selfishly. So that's my prediction as of right now. But again, he's coming out and he's putting doubt on that. But again, that if that's what you would do, that's what I like. It reminds me of when Ben Affleck was no longer going to be Batman. He didn't come out and say that because Justice League was coming out. Like obviously he wasn't going to come out and say that because they don't want to hurt the next movie that's coming out. So unfortunately, we're gonna get a lot of these a bunch of this vagary for like another year, right? Because we still have Shazam, we still have the Flash, we still have Blue Beetle and Aquaman, and they're not gonna come out and clearly state everything that's gonna happen probably until after those movies come out, I would imagine. So I don't know. I am still operating under the assumption that there's gonna be a full-on reboot. And I don't think we're going to see these actors playing these characters past their movies. I still think maybe there's a chance for Blue Beetle because if they can get that movie to the point, and I don't know, maybe Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is like a massive character in it. But if they can sort of edit that movie in such a way that there are no references to any of the old DCEU, maybe that's one character with Jolo Maridueña playing him. Maybe he continues on forward, but yeah, I'm still operating under the assumption that it's the end of the road for everybody else.